If you're thinking about selling your home in the Pittsburgh area, here are a few costly mistakes that you want to avoid. Sellers are losing thousands of dollars every time they go to sell by avoiding these 5 key tips that you want to hit on. And yes, there are more than that, but here are the 5 that we see come up most often. So today I'm going to take you through the 5 costly mistakes that you want to avoid when selling your home in the Pittsburgh area. Okay, number 1, not having your home prepared to sell. Everyone waits until the last minute to get their home ready to go. And some key things that you really need to concentrate on is A, we need to go through your home room by room and let's figure out a punch list of items that we can do to touch up. We want to touch up paint. If you have kids, they've nicked the walls all up, the baseboards are scuffed up, or maybe they're still dirty. We need to get the home as show ready as we can. Yes, we're going to take beautiful photos, we're going to take professional photos, they're going to make everything look outstanding. However, the first impression is the best impression that we want to make on potential home buyers. So the first time that people come through the home, we want to try to make sure everything is as touched up, buttoned up, decluttered, and staged correctly that we can. Yes, we can help with that, and that's why we love it when we get involved early in the home selling process. That way we can put a checklist of items together. We can get things ready to go so that we are not waiting until the last minute, or we're losing those first showings because of some issues that we have in the home. So first problem, get your home ready to sell. Take some time. It is not just decide you want to sell it and put it on the market in the next couple of days. You have to do some work to get your home ready to go. Okay, number 2, overpricing your home when you start the listing. The reason that this is very detrimental, you'll hear a lot of home sellers say, oh, well, we'll just start high, and if we don't get a home buyer, we don't get an offer, we can always come down, right? We hear that all the time. The worst thing that we can do is start too high from the jump, right? When we put the home on the market, we want to spend as much time as we can making sure that everything is ready to go and that we are priced correctly. Yes, can we push it slightly? Yes, we can. Do we want to be at that top end of the price range that we think it's going to fall in? Yes. When we start getting into 5, 10, 15% over the value that we think that it's probably going to land, we are losing the best opportunity to sell your home for the most amount of money. The first 10 to 14 days are the most serious buyers that we have in the market. And so if we lose the opportunity to sell our home to them, guess what happens next? The buyers that come and see our home are new to the market. They're not ready to buy yet. They're just browsing. They're looking in different areas. They're looking in different price points. And so what happens? We tend to get less serious buyers. And the longer that we're on the market, we know as we start to drop price, we're going to end up getting a much lower price at the end of the day. Because anybody who's now coming into the market, they're saying, what's wrong with this house? I wonder why that one hasn't sold. Is that overvalued? Oh, we think it's less. We think it's worth less than that. Now we're going to come in. Let's just throw a lowball offer in at them. Let's just go fishing and see if these sellers would take a lowball. And so now we just put ourselves in a bad position. We have no leverage and we're chasing the market down. And that's not a place that we want to be in when we're selling in this kind of home market. Number 3, ignoring curb appeal. Yes, we spend a lot of time on the interior. We want to make sure everything is ready to go. We also want to make sure that the outside looks nice. The first impression is the most important impression. And if everyone pulls in the driveway and they're walking up and the driveway has leaves all over it, or it hasn't been pressure washed, or we're walking up the front steps and we're on the main walkway and we don't have any mulch down, we haven't spent any time to prepare that, buyers are automatically starting to get an impression in their head like, well, maybe this home isn't going to be very well maintained. And then so what happens when they open the door and they start looking on the interior? They're looking for the same thing. And so that first impression, that entryway has buyers are coming up and agents are coming up. They're standing on the front porch. They're talking outside. They're standing in the front yard. We want to make that as nice, appealing as we can. Obviously having the proper lighting, things like that. Right? We want to just make sure that they get a good feeling as they're walking up to the home. You can do this very inexpensively. Most things can be fixed with mulch, landscaping, things around the home that just make it look a lot nicer. You don't have to spend a ton of money. You can get cheap lights on Amazon, but we want to make sure that our curb appeal is there so that we don't turn buyers off as they start to come into the home, because now they're going to start looking for things when they enter the home. Tip number 4, bad marketing and poor photography. We see a lot of sellers that they maybe try it for sale by owner for a little while and they're just going to go out and they're going to take photos with their iPhone or the camera that they've had for the last 5 or 10 years, and the angles and the lighting and everything is off. Remember, the the first showing that you're going to have on your listing is going to come online. And then home buyers are going to make a decision what home they want to go out and see based on photography. And then what are they going to do? They're going to go out and see your home. They might see 2 or 3 homes that day. So what is the third showing that they're going to have? It is the professional photography again. This is why it is so important. It's an absolute must. We need to do it on every listing, and yet I still see listings on the market and in price ranges from top to bottom that don't have professional photography, and they haven't taken the time to get professional photos done. And this just shoots you in the foot because you're losing out on showings because of your photography, and then people are going back and making a buying decision based on the photography again when it comes to the first showing and the third showing. We can't skip this process. Number 5, we have to be flexible and accommodate showings. The only way that we sell a home is if we can get home buyers in to see it. We make showing your home difficult if we can't get people in. We can't accommodate showings within a couple of hours. And I know it's inconvenient, and I know that we don't want to do that, and we try to prep as much as we can to get the most amount of people in as early in the process as possible. But we have to be able to accommodate showings. What's the worst thing that we can do is we can go through an initial weekend, get a whole bunch of people in there, and then we have the next week home buyers are wanting to get into our property and we can't get them in. Scheduling conflicts with sellers, or we have a dog situation that we can't handle, or perhaps it's a tenant issue, which is always difficult when we're selling an investment property, but we have to accommodate showings. The only way that we sell your home is people come in and see it. And the way that we maximize value is we get the most amount of home buyers in front of your home, and we get them to go to your home, and we have a chance to sell it to the most amount of people. And the more showings we miss, the less opportunity that we have to sell, and the less opportunity that you have to sell for the most amount of money. The 5th part of the process is we have to accommodate all showings. Now, those are just 5 of the mistakes that we see a lot of home sellers make and that we are dealing with on a regular basis. Our process is a proven, repeatable process to get your home sold as quickly as we can for the most amount of money, least amount of stress. There are over 180 different variables when it comes to selling your home that are part of the process that we manage. Obviously, we're not listing them all here, but there's a lot of them, and there's a lot to do when it comes time to sell your home, and you want to make sure that you're working with a professional. So if you're thinking about selling this fall, this coming spring, next summer, feel free to reach out to us anytime. The earlier that we can get involved in the process, the better. That way we're making sure that we're checking all the boxes, we have your home ready to go, ready to sell, and showing its best light and get you the most amount of money that we can when we go to sell that home. So hopefully this helps. If you have anything, need anything, reach out to me anytime. Thanks.